Hey guys, John Edwards here with Edwards Guitars once again. We're getting to an exciting point of this build. Now this is my son's build that he's doing, but I'm helping him here. Getting ready to put strings on this Dreadnought and getting really excited about that. It's going to sound really amazing. Before we do that though, I thought let's talk about some tools that we need to have in doing a setup on a guitar. Now, we have, what I have found in guitar building is that it's all about the tools, and there are literally little tools for just about every step of the process. Now, you can get away with some things, but there's other things that are very important to have. And usually you probably want to go ahead and spend the money, because when you skimp out on the cheaper tools, they may work, but they probably won't work as well as the expensive ones. So let's talk through a few different things. Let me show you one of my favorite tools, and that's this little ruler right here. You can get this from StewMac. The great thing about this ruler is that it is a centering ruler on one side, and you can have your 0 in the middle, and then it has equal amounts on either side, and it works really good for whenever you're wanting to find the center, let's say, of a fretboard that's already been tapered, and you're wanting to run the center line down that. That's a really easy tool to use to get that just right. StewMac sells these in metric as well as imperial. Personally, I like the metric one. But these are really great tools. Let me show you another one. This is a little vise that you can get from StewMac as well. And what we use this for is if you're making your own nut or saddle, what you do is you can clamp that in here and tighten it down. And then you'll see that it's beveled away like that. That'll allow you to get down with the angle, which I've got another set of files right here that I like to use. And these are also from StewMac, but they have coarse, medium, then fine and extra fine. And you can use these to really shape the bone saddles and nuts. And personally, I really like bone saddles and nuts because I think the sonic qualities of them are far superior to plastic. Okay, those are great tools to have, and I would suggest you get you some of those. Let me show you these. These are fret tang nippers. These work amazing whenever you are cutting the tang of the fret away. You just fit it right in there, and you can set the distance on that, snip it down, and that's so that underneath the frets there's a tang, and it keeps the tang inside the edge of the fretboard. These are a really great tool, well worth your money. Speaking of that, I've also got this from StewMac. Now there's other things that you can use in snipping your fret wire, but these work great because you can get right up against your fretboard and snip it right off. It trims it all down nicely. There's other tools you can use, you know, your typical wire cutters, things like that. They'll work just fine, but that's a great tool. Let me show you this one. This is a fret puller, and you'll notice that it has a bevel on the inside, and then you can get it right down nice and tight. Now, the reason why I like to use these is that you can get so tight down to the fretboard. And if you ever have to do a refretting job, this is the tool to use, because you can get right down on the fretboard and you just squeeze it from the end like that. And as you squeeze it, the beveled side here, it lifts the fret up, and then you can just go along gently and it just pulls right out. The great thing about this, if you use it right, it helps to eliminate tear out. If you just take a chisel or something and you stick it in there and you pry it out, you're probably going to get wood chips that tear out along the fret line. These are a really great tool to keep that nice and clean. Let me show you this one here. This is also a StewMac tool. This one you can use to clean out the slots of your frets before you put them in. Sometimes in the gluing processes and different things like that, sometimes you get junk down in there. This is a great tool just to get right down in the fret slot and clean it out. You'll see that the blade is just wide enough to fit down in there. Great tool to have. I recommend that one as well. And then also you have this right here. Now this is the StewMac fret slotting saw, and this also can be used to clean out your frets. And the great thing about this is that these two blades, the teeth go opposite directions. So if you're wanting to cut a certain way, you know, you can use this one for cutting one way, this one cutting the other direction. Great tool to have. You probably won't need it until you need it. And whenever you need it, you need to have it, right? So that's just one of those ones that I would recommend as well. Here's another one that's really great. This is just a fret dressing file. This particular file here is rounded on one side and very smooth. And then on the sides, it has your files. This is really great for dressing the ends of your frets. You can set the rounded edge down on the fretboard, and then it's just a couple of little strokes like that, and it takes off any kind of burr or sharp pieces or anything like that off the end of your fret, and it just helps to make it really, really nice. Here's another one from StewMac, as you guessed. This is your fret rocker. This tool is essential to have when you are doing your dressing and setting up your frets and things. What you do is you set it down on the fretboard like that, and then you try to see if you can rock it back and forth. If it rocks back and forth, it means the one in the middle is too high and needs to be taken down. Now this particular file, it has, as you can see, it's got 4 different sides of varying widths, and that allows you to go from frets being wide apart to up narrow like this and still being able to get the fret rocking action. But it's also got a diamond file on there so that if you have a fret that is maybe just a little bit high in 1 or 2 spots, you can sit and give special attention to that fret right there, going back and forth until it is filed down exactly how you want it. That's an incredible tool. The great thing about these kind of tools, I didn't get all of mine at one go, but what I've done over the years is Christmas time, Father's Day, you know, birthday presents, I always have a little list of little tools and different things like that that I need. You know, they might be 30, 40 bucks, whatever, and it gives someone a chance to buy me another tool. So I'm always got little tools like that I use. Here's another one, and this is a reaming tool for your bridge pins. Now this is a great one. It keeps you centered. One side of this is completely smooth and rounded off. Then the other side, it has the blades, and you can just set this right down in your saddle and then twist that around a couple of times. It's very, very sharp, and it will drop the pin down in your saddle exactly where you want it. But don't go too fast with that. Another one are these. These are string spreaders. Once we get our strings on, now I just made that one just from a piece of pine that I had at home. I just made it wide enough to cover the sound hole, a couple of slots on the ends to spread the strings apart. But then these guys here, the way they work, and you'll see us use these here in a little bit. Once you have your strings on, if you're having to do any work on your nut, saddle, anything like that, what you can do is slip this under, and this, you can hook the strings on one side, half of them on one side, half of them on the other side. Keeps the strings out of the way if you're having to do any kind of fret dressing, if there's a fret buzz or anything like that, and it just keeps everything clear. You can put one in the up here, one down here, spreads it out. This will spread the strings out in the sound hole area. just one of those tools that make things so much better. The other thing, if you're going to get into guitar building, you definitely need a good scalpel blade. And you can pick these up at a variety of different stores, anything from a hobby store or something of that nature. Those are very key. Let's talk about fret polishing. As I said before, I always look for little tools that I can use just about anywhere I find them. I'm always looking, and if I go to a store and there's tools, I'm looking at those tools to see what can I use in building guitars. This one here, these are microfiber pads, okay? And I think they start out at like 1,500 grit, and then they move up to like 3,000, then up to like 5,000, up to like 9,000 grit. So these here just feel nice and smooth. But what I do with these is I use these in helping to clean up the frets and polish them. And by the time you go from the 1,500 to 9,000, you start to get a really nice finish without too much effort, okay? Now, where did I find these? Now, you can find these in a big set that's, you know, it ranges all the way up to, I think, at about 12,000 grit, somewhere in there. But this set particularly, I just found this in an old, you know, the kits that you can buy to refurbish your headlights on your vehicles, and then, you know, you sand them back and clean them up, and then you put a coating over the top, and it's supposed to take the fog look out of your headlight. So these were in there. And I had to do that to my vehicle, and I saw that, and I said, ooh, that'll be perfect for frets. So, just a few tools there. We're getting ready to put some strings on, but I wanted to share that with you. One last thing, when it comes to tools and putting on strings, and this one, these are essential. First off, you have your nut slotting files. And you can buy these. There's a few different places that sell them. These are very handy. The Music Nomad equipment, great, starting at 13 thousandths all the way up to 56 thousandths. Okay. Now, these are really great, especially if you're having to, you know, lower those strings right down on the nut. If you're making your own nut, these are essential. You need to have them. This little guy right here, this is a great tool as well. This one here, it helps to lift the string out of the slot and move it to the side so you can continue slotting that down, and then you just lift it back up and move it over, and it's offset on the tool. The tool's offset there so that it will act as a lever to pry it up whenever you roll it down like that. Great tool. You really need to have that. It makes so many jobs very easy. Last but not least, and that's this one right here. This is essential for anyone who is putting strings on a guitar, because this one will measure your string height. And you can take and set this on the string over the fret. It has a 0 button. You can zero it out and push the string down to the fret, and it'll measure how many thousandths of an inch your string sits above the fretboard. Very crucial piece of tooling there. And this one, spend the money on it, okay? Spend the money, because it's worth it. All right, that's it for now, guys. And the next video will be seeing strings go on this one and hearing how it sounds.